Call the meeting to order, the Griggs County Commission at 2 p.m. February 19th, 2016. Stand for pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, well, roll call. John. Here. Dale. Here. Ron. Here. Sean. Here. Troy is here. Approval of the agenda. Hi, Wayne.
Hi.
Anybody see any additions or corrections to the agenda for tonight?
Move to approve the agenda as submitted.
It's been moved by Ron to approve the agenda as submitted. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from February 5th. Anybody see any additions or corrections? I did see one. Tax director's last name is spelled incorrectly in that right here. Being I wasn't here, I wasn't not really qualified to.
Last line was the meeting set for 2, or was that changed after that?
Where are you?
Well,
Last
it was
line.
supposed to be at 1 o'clock and I changed it yesterday, Sean,
So that's correct.
or Wednesday. Just because of the conference call at 4.
Okay.
Trying to get here soon enough for the bid opening and not too soon that we had a big hole in the day.
And I'm going to approve the minutes and presented, dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Sean to approve the minutes from the February 5th commissioners meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You want to come back to these bills after we do the bid opening?
Fine with me.
Let's hop over to the bid opening. Jake, are you gonna help Sam, or are you just keeping books?
I can do either, whatever works for you guys.
Is this the same one?
You want me to go through it, Sam? I can
Sure, I'll just pass them down.
switch.
For the central specialties.
Okay, the bidder is Central Specialties. The contractor's license is good. Bid bond's good. And the bid price, or the total bid price for the pipe option is $199,600. $777.00. So $199,777. And they also have a bid for the box culvert option, and that number is $276,629. $276,629.
Next bid is from On the Level Construction Incorporated.
It's what?
On the Level.
Contractor's license is good. Bid bond's good. And their total bid price for the pipe option is $178,974.25. So $178,974.25. And their bid for the box culvert option is $248,366.75. $248,366.75.
This is from Tom Gilbertson and Sons.
Okay, is there a contractor's license? Oh, right there.
Here's an envelope.
Okay, this is for Tom Gilbertson and Sons. Bid bond is good. Contractor's license is good. Tom Gilbertson and Sons bid for the price or for the pipe option is $238,080. So $238,080. And they didn't submit a bid for the box culvert option.
Sorry, I got it taped off.
Sherbinsky. Oh, that's.
Okay, the next bid is for Sherbinsky Incorporated. Their bid bond is good. Contractor's license is good. Their bid for the pipe option is $225,653.25. $225,653.25. And they did not submit a bid for the box culvert option. Next bid is for KD Hoyt. Contractor's license is good. Bid bond's good. And their bid for the pipe option is $199,671.99. So $199,671.99. And their bid on the box culvert option is $314,577.07. $314,577.07.
For Witzel Construction. Witzel.
Who was that?
Witzel Construction. Okay, bid bond is good. Contractor's license is good. Witzel Construction's bid for the pipe option is $174,979.85. So $174,979.85. And their bid on the box culvert option is $282,219.45. $282,219.45. Okay, the next bid is for M&M Contracting. Contractor's license is good. Bid bond's good. M&M Contracting's bid on the pipe option is $261,736.97. $261,736.97. And their bid on the box culvert option is $310,331.47. $310,331.47. Okay, this is Midwest Contracting. Contractor's license is good. Bid bond is good. Okay, Midwest Contracting's bid price on the pipe option is $155,488.50. $329.25. So $155,329.25. And their price on the box culvert option is $209,270.25. So $209,270.25. Okay, this bid is for Bladen Construction. Contractor's license is good. Bid bond is good. And their bid for the price, or for the pipe option, is $154,200. So $154,200. And their bid for the box culvert option is $219,915.50. $219,915.50. Okay, this bid is for Knife River Materials. Contractor's license is good. Bid bond is good. Knife River Materials bid on the pipe option is $266,539.25. $266,539.25. And their bid for the box culvert option is $333,905.25. $333,905.25. Okay, this bid is for Canyon Specialty Contractors. Contractor's license is good. Bid bond is good. Canyon Specialties bid on the pipe option is $168,134. $168,134. And their bid on the box culvert option is $292,823. $292,823. That's all. Okay.
11.
All right, so the apparent low bidder for the pipe option is Gladen Construction. And the apparent low bidder on the box culvert option was Midwest Contracting.
engineer's estimate available?
Yep, engineer's estimate on the box culvert was $388,319. And the estimate on the pipe was $342,784.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone who submitted a bid.
Thank you.
See ya.
I know it's a good thing I'm not bidding on these projects.
You have the summer off. High bidder again.
We base our prices off of last year's stuff, and this year it's blown us out of the water on
The
every type of
low
project.
bid on the pipe is 44.3% of the proposed.
Engineer's estimate. So now the decision that we need to make before we decide anything else
Pipe or cold box?
is spending $55,000 more prudent as opposed to the pipe. Is that correct? We have that.
Yep, you guys have that
the-
option.
The ability to make that call. $55,070.25 is the difference between the low bid on the culvert or the box and the pipe.
Longevity wise, difference.
Well, when I talk to the hydraulics guys, typically, the manufacturers say box culverts will last 75 years. The pipe, the manufacturers on the pipe say they'll last 30 to 40 years.
30 to 40.
Yep. So it's basically that, yeah, both for both options, either option is how long that material is going to last. And concrete is a better material and it lasts longer, but it's more expensive.
It's not nearly as much more expensive as we had anticipated. And neither one are.
You're getting double the life for.
Well, and then in this application, it seems like, I mean, a box culvert's gonna be more suited to containing the water in that existing abutment than putting in 3 pipes. But I mean, this is a discussion that we need to have.
One thing to think about too is with the steel culverts, the end sections are metal. And I'm not sure how much ice comes through there, but, and I mean, Wayne talked about this a little bit. You get a year with a lot of ice, and the county may have to put some new end sections on there if they get real beat up or wrecked. Whereas with the box culvert, I mean, it's concrete, it may chip a little bit, but it's not gonna completely destroy it.
Is there flared ends on those box culverts, or isn't there?
Yeah.
From a comparison standpoint, using the engineer's estimate, the pipe would be 88% of the box culvert, price-wise. From the actual bids, the bid in the pipe was 73%, so we got way better value on the bids, pipe compared to concrete, than the estimate. So using that, if the engineer said that the pipe was 88%, and now we bought it for 73%, we're far more money ahead than the value the engineer's estimate put towards the 2 projects.
Depends on how you want to drive it.
Well, that's what they said. They said comparable that the pipe would be 88% of the concrete. When in actuality, we got the pipe for 73% of the concrete.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is...
The whole project is much smaller than it was before. The question in my mind is it worth $50,000 to have a concrete over the pipe?
I would add it a little bit different. It's the cost per year of longevity and it's going to be cheaper, if I figured it right, to do the culvert for cost.
The pipe or
The pipe.
Well, why didn't I do it that way?
But the culvert would be cheaper per year.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
per year of longevity.
The steel pipe,
Yeah.
So what was what would you say the value, what was the value? What was the longevity on the
70 to
35 years
35.
for the-
Pipe,
pipe? So that's that's $4,400 a year.
75 years old,
Yeah, I wrote
cement,
down here.
concrete.
70.
Oh, okay.
75.
Yeah,
75,
I'm coming up with a different.
Yeah, 4405 per year for the pipe.
Yeah.
2790
For the culvert, yeah, so it sounds like the culvert.
for the box.
Yeah.
For the box, yeah.
I wrote my years on wrong, so I don't know numbers.
How long have the pipes been in there? So how long those pipes been in there?
I don't know when they were put in there last. It was in the 60s or something when they rebuilt the water works. I know the early 60s or late 50s probably.
55 years on it already, yeah.
So
We
if
had
you,
some problems. It wasn't every year, but some years when depending on how the fine was, where the water came down, then it stopped and it froze again. So it got ice chunks. Then the ice chunks floated up and the spring runoff come again, and then that's what it banged up against.
They've never washed out in all those years?
It hasn't washed out. We thought many
Dan
times.
said it's gone over the road a couple times.
Yeah, it's run over.
Wow.
We thought it was running alongside, but I think it might have been where they were separating and then it was going down and coming off the end.
So what you're saying is, on an annualized basis, it's cheaper to own the concrete box.
And just so you guys know, as far as the engineering of the construction, it will be the exact same for either option. So cost is not going to be more for the concrete box culvert than the pipe. Just in case there was a question in someone's mind on that, if there's additional cost for you that way.
The money, the difference in price, we can take that $50,000 and spend it on something else, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that has to be figured in then. What is the benefit of that $55,000
Somewhere.
against, right, against
Another
the
project.
cost per year of the pipe, so yeah.
Well, the good thing is, of all these bid, they've all been way under what we expected, so there's going to be some money.
Do you know these two contractors?
I've done work with Midwest. We've done a lot of work with Midwest, and they are excellent at putting box culverts in. They're by far the best contractor we've worked with for box culvert wise. Gladen, I worked with them when I was in college and I was an intern. That was the last time I worked with them. They're pretty big, I think Bemidji. And I'm sure they do good work too.
I just can't believe we get 11 bidders on this.
I cannot. My phone was ringing up the hook all week with people asking little questions here and there.
Things are getting hungry, yeah.
Yeah. Even our paving projects are coming in $1 million under our estimate. $3 million estimate. It's crazy.
Sure wasn't like that when we looked at paving bids. No.
That's a pretty small project.
That's true too.
I think Ron and I just like gullible.
Mobilization costs.
They just didn't like us.
No, we like gullible. Look desperate.
You gotta have it done in 3 weeks.
Please.
You're in trouble.
That was about it.
The flow rate's the same on both?
Yes.
They both figured the flow at 70% full, correct? Because there's more square footage in the 3 round pipes than there is in the square culvert, because they figured at 70% full. At 5 foot full, the round pipe doesn't have proportionally as much left as the square pipe.
What the main thing they look at is the headwater behind the culvert at the 25-year flow and 100-year flow.
Yeah.
And I want to say that how full those pipes are, or how full the pipes versus the box culvert are different on either one of those. They have to match a certain elevation because we can't. But we don't want to go on the road for one, and they figure on what those first pipes will be able to do too.
Right. I mean, the culvert had like 144 square foot of opening, and then the three pipes together have 114. So you would think that the culvert had more volume, but it doesn't because they don't figure on full flow. They figure at 70%, and at 70, anything over half on a round pipe, you're starting diminishing return on a little bit left. So when I put it together, that 70% is what they must have used to have the same square footage.
And one thing with the box culvert too, we have to sink those a foot, so we actually lose a foot of flow, and that's for the fish.
Yeah.
They require that, so that also
Also, maybe that
diminishes.
that took then 12 feet off. Yeah. Okay. 16 feet off. Square feet
At
off.
least it's 16 by 9.
Right. So yeah, so it took 16 square feet off.
So the usable flow area there's actually 16 by 8
Okay.
with the 1 foot channel drop.
Right.
What fish?
Never you
Don't ask me. Really, we're always going to do
The fish that don't swim through culverts, so they're
Yeah, so they make it lower the box culvert, but we don't have to on the pipe. So let's figure that
Well,
out.
if you put a pipe a foot in the ground, it would be rotten in 5 years.
That's true too.
Well, okay, we got a decision to make now.
I'm inclined to go with the longevity option.
Same here.
Yeah, it seemed like steel would last more than 35 years, but that's what the manufacturers say.
Yeah.
I mean, all branches, if they're 50 years old, 60 years old, they just don't seem to deteriorate, but I guess if that's the official.
I don't think the new ones are as good as the old ones
Well,
are
that's
too. I mean,
probably-
the galvanizing on these new ones is a lot thinner.
Oh, okay.
It seems like just the ones I've bought and put in myself.
If they should happen to wash out, the concrete culvert can be reused and the steel normally can't. Also correct.
Yeah.
And,
Usually wrecks them.
yeah. What do you think, Wayne?
You know what I think? I guess I would prefer the lock culvert. I think is the best bang for your buck. I think it's going to be there forever as far as we're concerned. It doesn't take up, the width when you put all these 384-inch culverts. Looks like it gets out beyond the normal stream bed, and then it's got to come back into that old bridge is downstream.
Right.
It looked like the drawings where this would be more confined to that channel area.
Well, it would be because you don't have there's a required distance between the culverts so you can compact it.
Compaction and stuff between all the culverts, they'd be checking it. A lot harder to get those round culverts and packed underneath. For that price, I couldn't believe that they're less than some of the steel pipe costs for that box culvert.
Well, if Midwest, you say does good quality work on box culverts, we probably got the best guy for it, so quality wise.
They put 4 in for us this last fall, and we've worked with them for years now on these box culverts, and never had a complaint from the guys who were working with them.
I think they did Nelson County last year, didn't they? Tono.
They might have.
Oh, North Town.
If they did, I wasn't counting that one. They did 4 for us down south.
So do they supply their own supplier brand of culvert, box culvert?
They usually get it from Griggs.
Because I think we have a Hancock or whatever up there.
Yeah, we have a Minnesota one over there, which wasn't quite as nice as the Griggs ones we've done in the past. But the box culvert I personally did with Midwest was a Griggs out of Bismarck, and pretty nice culvert, went together really nice.
Now, if they did that one north of Tolna and the Tolna Coulee, they were in and out of there.
That was really quick. It was a
10
month
days?
ahead of schedule.
I mean, that road wasn't closed very long.
Well, we're going to find out what's going on. I'll make a motion that we accept the concrete box culvert option of $209,270.25, tentatively accepted.
It's been moved by John to tentatively accept the bid for the concrete box culvert option on Highway 15 of $209,270.25 submitted by Midwest Contracting. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? We did this backwards. We discussed it first, but that's
Only way to feel confident in the motion.
Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Concrete it is.
Do you want to keep going for my stuff, or do you want to go back? Or finish? Doesn't matter to me whatever you do.
We could just finish you up, Jake. Get rolling.
Tom's bid checked out to be the lowest bidder on the last gravity project, so I have 3 contracts for Troy and Samantha to sign, exact same as last time. Ron actually signed them, I guess. And then I also have a notice of award to send to Tom with the contracts for him to sign, for anything, sign that. On all the tabs here you can sign. There's 3 copies there. I'll send all 3 to Tom, and just like the last time, one is your guys', one's mine, and one will stay with Tom. And then I also have the originals that Ron signed last time for the project with Knife River and Tom. So,
Thank you.
and then also, I have 3 reimbursement requests for preliminary engineering costs. One of them is for the Highway 10 grouting project, and the amount is $750. One is for Highway 15 and gravity project, and the amount is $1,175. And the final one is for the Highway 15 culvert project, and the amount is $9,300. So these, just like before, Troy will sign them and Samantha send them in to the state, and you guys will get reimbursed for your costs.
Motion to submit.
I'll make a motion to send the KLJ request for funding.
Been moved by Sean to submit the 3 reimbursements presented by KLJ for funding for the highway projects. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
signed?
Yeah, do you send them in or just
do.
Jake?
And that's all I have for you guys, unless there's any questions or comments or anything for me. At the next meeting, I'll bring you Word documents for this culvert project, and it should be good to go.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Jake? Guess not. Wayne, do you have anything?
All I had was the letter from the insurance company.
Yep, that's in our packet. So did you call B&B and tell them to fix it, or?
I haven't, we're just gonna go up and patch it for now.
Oh, you can do it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At least we can put some patches on the holes that we can visibly see and see if that'll stop. It's not the day the water is coming down the wall.
Waterfall?
So, I think Matt was gonna go up there and put some stuff over the holes that we spotted. and see.
Okay. Then in the next few years, we're gonna have to think about it all more off.
Right.
Okay.
I think later on, John said that, we talked about getting fabric put over it, or the right material. I think you can get it at Lumber Mart. And just put
For
some patches on the,
Oh, the vulcanized rubber
Yeah.
patches.
little,
Right.
you know, better patch on there, so,
Is that ballasted?
yeah. Yeah, there's rocks over the top.
Because there's a better system now, isn't there, that's unballasted?
Sure.
I thought so. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right, thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jake.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Back to the bills.
The reason that workers' comp one is over right now is just because we haven't got the breakdown of it getting into the other budgets. Just waiting for it to come back from workforce safety. So then we'll do a correction to get it out of the appropriate budgets. So then that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, and it looks like Vicki Tanner Bendixson, she's still charging to the sheriff's department, I see.
Yeah.
So what was it, how many hours was it this last pay period? Do you know where?
To look for sure. I think it's about an hour a day,
It's $254, so it must be about
an hour and a half to 2.
10, 15 hours, I suppose, or 16 hours, so.
This one I know, I believe it was part of the last week of January through the 16th, 13th, I think.
Okay, so this pay period is through the 31st of January, you mean?
No, it was from 31st to the 16th.
Of February.
Of February.
So, okay, so she is still
But, yeah.
working, okay. Well, Troy should be here for that discussion.
Yeah, I believe so.
The window or something.
Yeah, we should.
Well, while you were gone, Troy, I just brought it up that Mickey Tanner Bendixson is still working. She's charged $254 to the sheriff's department, and there's no money in the budget, and that was for, you said last week and the week before, I guess.
The whole month of January, she was on the payroll over there, wasn't
She was on she was on last week too, last week and the week before, so I thought she was going to stop, but apparently.
Isn't there 2 checks here?
Yeah.
One for County Welfare Board.
One of them's out of the general, and one of them's out of the county welfare.
Yeah, the blue ones.
It's all one check, but
Okay,
out
the
of
dollar amount.
yeah, out of 2 different accounts.
So what's going on?
Total disregard of the budget, evidently.
She got put on as a special deputy, and so then he's taking that, using that out of his overtime budget.
It's not overtime.
It's not overtime.
She's not aware anymore, is she?
Yeah, she works over there, right?
Every day.
Every day.
I think she's to an hour a day.
A what?
An hour a day.
After she's done over there?
She's actually done over there.
What do you mean she's done over there?
She quit over there.
She what?
She quit over there.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh,
What are our options?
Well, a couple ways to look at
budget
this.
can't go over.
But what will happen is, I predict what might happen possibly is we get to November, October,
We go over.
and we go over, and we can't undo what's already been done. And the claim is made that we can't leave the county without law enforcement services.
Okay.
So we end up funding an over budget when it didn't have to be over, just a complete disregard of the budget we put in place. It wouldn't be so outrageous if we hadn't given the sheriff the chance to decide where he was going to cut his budget. He decided, we didn't. And now he has just disregarded. And all of a sudden has kept somebody working here when he said he wasn't going to. What do you do? I say we don't write any more checks, is what I say. Show me in the budget where that's funded, and I don't see it. He came and asked us this last week. Why did he ask if he was going to do it anyway?
Been doing it since the first of the year.
Yeah. But that's the position we're in. We're going to get held hostage at the end of the year, claiming that it's necessary to have the deputy for public safety when
The deputy's money was spent on a non-budgetary item.
So it's coming out of the overtime budget, and it's clearly not overtime. Can't the COO refuse the expenditure?
we can. I would say, I mean, the ability to approve also means the ability to disapprove, doesn't it?
I know, but it's water under the bridge by the time we see it. It's already done.
Mm-hmm. So you disregard, you disavow this check and
No more.
no more.
What do you think, Jamie?
I'll have to do some research. It's awfully tough, I think, for you guys to do something other than control his budget. As far as not allocating expenditures, especially the labor expenditure, I don't know what could happen, so I need to do a little research.
It was budgeted as an overtime expense, and it's not being spent that way. It's no different than if somebody budgeted for overtime expense and went and bought tires with it. It's not what it's budgeted for. So I don't see how we can't say, no, you can't spend it like that, because that's not how we approved it to be spent.
I agree. I mean, if we don't have the ability to deny this expense, then we don't have the ability to deny any expense.
Exactly.
Then a budget means nothing, and we're strictly here to try and manage the over budget positions that each department puts us in. And that isn't our job. Our job is to guard against that.
Our job is a fiduciary responsibility of the county.
Yeah. He told us he was going to not have an office deputy. We didn't tell him. We told him we had to cut the budget because of the loss of the funds from Cooperstown. And he had the choice where he was going to cut that. He voluntarily cut the office deputy and now has brought that position back. It was under a different name.
I guess I missed some conversation.
Yeah, you're talking about this conversation. You're the topic of the conversation.
Okay. Well, continue. I'm here.
Why have you disregarded the fact that you were the one that cut the office deputy? Why are you still hiring somebody to do clerical work?
You better refer back to your minutes, John. The county commission made a vote in a motion to cut her as a full-time Griggs County employee. You voted to unfund her position. Okay.
Okay.
I, as the sheriff, by law, have the opportunity to hire a special deputy, and they must be compensated. It's in the law. Did you read that?
Bob, where's the budget for it?
The overtime.
No.
Yeah. And she's not here full time. She's going to be done. I'm hoping to get some help with clerical stuff. That's what I need. I mean, everybody else in this county's got clerical help. All of a sudden, I don't get anything. Who's supposed to do all this work? I can't do it all. You guys made that decision, and that's that. I explained this fully last time I was here. Danielle was going to pick up some of those duties. She started training her. She left because she didn't want to be an office deputy. So I kept making on to help me finish some of this work.
So you came to ask us. Why did you ask us if you were just going to do it anyway?
Ask what?
You asked us if you could have a deputy for an hour, and we didn't make a decision, but you just decided to keep doing it.
John, I
after the fact?
No, it's not after the fact. Mickey's done as a special deputy. I need someone. If I can get 4 hours a week. We're talking like $2,900 for a year. That'll at least let me cover my needed duties. I don't. Mark just started. He doesn't want to do this work. He's not even involved in the clerical end of this. He's a deputy sheriff. That's what he's hired for. I'm not here to cause any fights or problems. I want to see if we can, as a group, we can figure this out. Everything's always so negative toward the sheriff's office. I produce paperwork to no end. I have mandated duties I have to do 24/7. All these things.
Mm-hmm. You put your name on the ballot?
Sure did, John.
Very good.
Sure did.
Very good.
Sure did. And as the elected official, I have certain rights by law that I can do, and that's one of them. I'm assuming now by this action there'll be a motion to cut my overtime budget. I can see that coming. I mean that seems to be the mentality.
You effectively cut your overtime budget. You're using overtime budget that now you won't have access to later on. That's the point. It is so now we get down into September or October, whenever it is, and the overtime budget is depleted, and you come to us and say, I need deputies for public safety. And we're put in a position where how do we argue with that? How do you argue with the public safety argument when in fact it wouldn't be over, but you use the money for something other than what was assigned to it?
I understand where coming from. That's why I was here last meeting, and you told me to come to this meeting so we could talk about it as a group. So before I get here, we're talking about it as a group without one of the key players.
Because we just see that it's a bill we're supposed to pay. How can we not talk about that when we're doing the bills?
Okay, so now I'm here, let's talk about it as a total group. All I'm asking for, I kept making on to get us through the rough period here because she was gone and one of the people she trained left. Okay, so now I got to start over. I came to the last meeting and asked, you told me to wait till this meeting, so I'm here. All I'm asking, will the county commission consider giving me $2,900 so I can have someone work 4 hours a week to take care of 4 or 5 of the things I must get done? One of which is payroll, one of which is civil process, correspondence.
Payroll.
We have to do our own payroll. We have to do our own payroll. I do my own payroll. I do all the booking.
Okay, I'll agree that you do your own payroll. I will not agree that you have to do your own payroll. How's that?
Who's gonna do my payroll?
She will. You turn in the vouchers and the auditor will do them, just same as the rest of the department.
That's what my payroll is done. I tear in the vouchers. I take care of all the days work, the days off, overtime, the vacation use, the sick leave use, the funeral leave use. We do all of that, and then the vouchers go to Sam. So as far as writing the checks, no, I do not write any checks. I have no checking account. I have no cash fund. I pay anybody out. It all goes through the auditor just like it's supposed to.
The aggravating part to me, Bob, is that you waited this long and went ahead and did this without notifying us. And when you knew that it was going to cause problems, when you knew that we expected that there wasn't going to be an office deputy there, I believe the only reason that your attention was called to it is because our attention was called to it, and all of a sudden it became something that you had to address.
You could assume that, John. That's not the case.
I said I assumed it. I didn't say it was the case. I said I assumed it.
I hear you.
So you have to understand that when we're responsible for the budget and something is done that we're not aware of and that is going to more than likely affect your budget later on down the road.
John, this will not affect my budget. This will not affect my budget 2016. I will not run short of overtime. That will not happen. Because I control that as much as I possibly can.
Then I take Bob, that's all you would have had to say. I'll take your word on that.
There'll probably be a little money left in your fuel budget since.
There will be. There'll be money left on the budget too. Right now,
But from a global perspective, when I look at this thing from the start, the claim was made that we're spending 40 hours a week in the city of Cooperstown. The city of Cooperstown decided they did not want to purchase those services from the county anymore. With that said, the question then became, do we now cut a deputy that is a patrol deputy or a deputy that is an office deputy and somebody will have to cover those duties instead of covering the city of Cooperstown? And your recommendation was that we not cut a patrol deputy, but that we cut the office deputy instead. And we agreed to that. Now, what I just heard you say is the deputies don't want to do that work.
no,
That's not a good answer.
Troy,
That's
the
tough
deputies,
luck.
I've picked up a lot of the work we're doing. I'm just having Mickey put in an hour or two a week, 3, 4, just to get the main things done that just simply don't have time to do it all. Well, what I'm asking for is so minimal and in the picture and the scheme of things. And right, yes, the city did stop, but some of these duties I have, doesn't matter if we have the city contract or not, those duties have to be fulfilled, they have to be done. That work's got to be completed while we do our law enforcement work. And we've been busy the last 2 months. And I'm not here to fight. I'm
just saying what I remember from that discussion.
And I'm not going to say I recommended we got rid of the office deputy. I never recommended that. I never thought that was a good idea. But I would surely recommend it.
Well, in light of the decision that was laid in front of you, that was your recommendation, and we agreed with it.
Well, as a common sense reaction to that, Troy, obviously, for the sake of the citizens, I mean, I need to keep law enforcement in place versus a full-time office deputy, right? And I'm not going to argue with that either. That's common sense.
Yep.
But now here we stand. I'm at this point, and I brought it up last meeting. There wasn't enough people here, so I was asked to bring it back. What I'm asking for is 4 hours a week for someone to come and help me with payroll, civil process, and 2 other things. And that's 4 hours worth of work, very easily. And that's it. That's all I'm asking for. This person's not going to have retirement. There's a minimal, some Social Security to be paid in that.
And it will come out of, and you will guarantee us you don't run over under your budget because of
Well, and I will guarantee that because I'm the one that's got to control that, John, and it falls on me, on what I do.
Well, that's my point. It falls on you, but you have the ability to leverage us with that public safety thing, and it isn't.
Have I done that? Have I done that? Have I even threatened it? Have I even talked to you about it? No, I have not. The only person that's ever brought it up in these meetings has been you, John. I've never said nothing about it. I'm not going to go there for what? Have some big legal fight? Doesn't even make sense. I'm just not going to go there. I'm not going to go there.
Then don't go there.
Y'all have seen it.
The point was, I was asking you, will you guarantee us that budget?
Third time I said it today, I'll say it 4 times. I need to. I will guarantee that budget won't go over.
That it was bigger than it needed to be to start with.
What's that?
The overtime budget.
The overtime budget is an estimate. That's what it is. Do I spend it all? No. You know, out of all the departments in the county, myself and the road, and especially my department, there's a lot of things I have no control over. I can't get permission from the county commission based on overtime in 32 days from now when we have some kind of incident. I don't have that. I base it off what we used the previous year, and now with my office deputy being cut, that's adding more duties to my staff. We're picking up another person's position and spreading that amongst 3 of us, and we still have to do our law enforcement work. We still have to. You know, the stuff that Mickey was doing for me, those duties are there whether we have the city contract at Cooperstown or not. They have to be there. Those things are in place. They got to be done. Just like everybody else in this county that has clerical people, they have duties they do every month religiously. So,
but why can't we just pay the overtime to one of the deputies who do the paperwork? That's my point. If it's going to be overtime, let's make it.
Well, I would say one reason is cost. This would meet up for $13 an hour. The overtime, we're probably talking $30-40 an hour. And it's going to take the same hours to do it, and probably more, because if I could get Mickey back to do it, she's the one that's versed in it and quick with it. I'm going to have to find somebody else to do it. But it's still going to be cheaper than having one of my deputies be paid overtime for it. And frankly, I don't know that Mark Collins is interested in being an office deputy. And I can make him do that. But then while he's doing that, then there's other duties that aren't getting done, other things that are needed, so. But I know if to pay those guys overtime to do it, Mickey's just going to cost a lot more than $2,900 or whatever I quote in that figure.
I'll say that I'm not so much against the principle, I'm dead set against the way that it was handled.
I didn't even know she was still working for the county until a citizen asked me why her chief was at the courthouse every day.
And she stops in a lot, and when she's not working, just to visit. She's no longer working for social services.
That wasn't her cup of tea or something?
Apparently not, and that's her business. I don't really dwell into that.
No, it doesn't. I was just surprised because it hasn't been very long.
Yeah, I guess I was too. I was hoping that would work out for her.
So there's not going to be a need for more. With 4 hours, you're going to keep it.
No, and actually that $2,900 from this point going forward is obviously going to be less because we're into March now, or roughly in March.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, here's the other side of this. If I can streamline her down to 3 days, 3 hours a week or 2, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And bank some hours if we have something else we need to do. I just need someone to help me with those key components. That's it. She's not going to be there to answer the phone. She's not going to be sitting there 8 hours a day. I'm not ever going there. I can't. I know that.
Again, from a personal perspective, if that was brought up before the fact, I can see your point. From the way it was done, I don't like it at all. But to punt it to be vindictive then, because of the way it was done, doesn't make sense either. But so I'm ambiguous on the whole thing. I'll stand back and vote with the majority.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a motion that we allow the sheriff to tap his overtime budget for his 4 hours per week of clerical help.
Been moved by Dale to, I don't know, do we need to authorize it? I mean, authorize Sheriff's Department 1 hour per day, or 4 hours per week, or what was it, motion, I'm sorry?
4 hours a week.
4 hours per week of clerical help. Is there a second to the motion?
With the stipulation. I mean, it stays within his budget.
He has to stay within his budget too, regardless.
You can't second with a stipulation. You have to, you have to amend the motion.
Well, I think it's a given. I gotta
Been
stick with my
seconded
budget.
by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
No.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
No.
Sean?
Aye.
You?
Welcome back.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
Okay, moving forward. Last meeting I came, I talked to the commission
Do
about
we want
that.
to do the rest of the bills?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, it doesn't matter. If
Yeah.
you get Bob, we gotta get going.
Yeah. Might as well keep Bob going.
Matter if you
This
get
will be
Bob.
quick. This will be quick. Last meeting I came, I told the ask the commission for their blessing to, scope out the wall where that drain leak is. When Sheriff Henderson here, he bought a fiber optic little scope thing with some LED lights on. I got in there. Where I give that scope, it is not leaking. It's leaking in the next wall cavity over, the stud cavity. And I am offering, I will open that up to minimal invasiveness, find the leak, and then get it opened up and expose what the problem is. And then if we need to get a plumber, they can fix it, or something that Brian or I can handle.
Is that cabinet screwed to the wall, or?
Yeah, and it's silicone and glued, but I think where the leak is right next to the edge of it. The drain system comes down from that sink and it turns and makes like a left. It goes to that stud, and the next stud is over in that opening where the refrigerator would go. So I can get in there where it's not going to be seen in the future anyway.
Okay.
I'm very good at sheetrocking. Brian is too. We'll figure it out. Someone's got to get in there. I ran the water day for maybe 5 minutes, and the carpet got wet. So there's a major leak in there.
Probably be by loose, maybe.
It's from that sink drain?
Yeah, it goes in and turns, and there's a fern quill. We thought that's maybe where if you don't know what fern quill is, it's rubber connecting with like a hose clamp on it. It's not leaking there. It's leaking somewhere in the next cavity or down someplace. So I'm just going to drill a small hole in there and try and find it. Then we'll open it up. Someone's got to do it.
Screw.
Is there a backer in that cabinet, or is it? Just
Yeah, it's full back, and then it's sheetrock tight around all the openings for fire code stuff. So smoke or flame can't.
Who knows, the screw probably got run into it or something.
Or it may not got glued.
It didn't get glued,
So if you don't care, I'm going to do that.
Yep.
That sounds good.
And then the next thing I brought to last meeting, our cell service over at times hit or miss. I suppose it's the building composition. I asked Travis to come up with a booster that would service my area, the hallway, and out into the future. It's expandable. The equipment cost is $1,586. He said labor on it would be $540. I'm asking blessing to purchase that. If you guys can help with part of it, I'll use BS money for part of it. That gets reimbursed. Just because we're at the point where I've been on emergency calls. It's dropped my call. Just any move 2 feet and it's fine. You move another 2 feet and it's bad again. It's just the way the building design or something.
You don't need DES money for all of it, couldn't you, and get reimbursed?
Possibly. I mean, maybe.
I think that's.
But it's not just a DS project. It's the whole building.
Well, yeah, but we can. It's primarily.
If I can identify enough, good place to get money out. If that, I can share it with my equipment too. But there again, I'm tapping that down.
Booster I put in my house was $500.
Yeah. Well, that could be here too. We gotta do a larger footprint. It's expandable. So we can add antennas. It'll cover the whole building. What we're trying to say at one point.
I can add antennas on mine. I don't know.
And Travis is here today too, isn't he?
Yep. And he can explain it to you. He'll be up here after I'm done some point. I don't know if Jamie, you experienced issues there, but we have all in that front of the office where we spend most of our time. I lost many calls.
I haven't lost a call, but I'm only there a day or 2 weeks, so.
I did walk in there and just watch my bars on my phone, but I don't know where you were standing. But everywhere I went, I had service.
Two of the places, it's ridiculous. This one is right in where the deputy's office and our clerical corner is that's a bad spot there for some reason.
I didn't go up there.
You know,
I just walked.
I've been on a phone in my office too. I couldn't even send myself a picture from my phone to my email. It just won't go. So, I did go outside and stand. I had to download a bunch of pictures from a crime scene.
Well, we talked to
Travis, what he's got in mind.
Yeah, I'll give I don't think get a voucher with I'll leave it here. Pass that down. The labor's not huge. He wanted to get approval last time so he could order the product. You know, it was going to be paid here, so.
Does it say what it is?
So are you going to table up for Travis? Plan?
Why would you put a UPS on a cell phone booster? Seems like a waste of money.
What's a UPS?
Uninterruptible power supply. The whole building's backed up by a generator. If you lost cell phone signal for 10 seconds, I don't think it'd be the end of the world.
So what's the action on that? You wait till Travis.
Oh, I'll wait and talk to
See
Travis.
what kind of equipment.
Yeah, that's fine.
And obviously you should probably have one.
What?
You probably should have one if you're not able to.
Yeah, we've had whatever place else we've had our office needed.
Yeah.
Bank was probably the same thing. I think it's the last thing I talked about last meeting. I'll bring it up again now. Just because I was told to bring it back, and I will. I had made contact with the Featherton Police Department. They're looking for a vehicle to purchase, and I thought maybe we'd get rid of that Impala that way and sell the Dodge truck and then replace it with a different vehicle. I know we're out of budget cycle, so I'm bringing it here to see if there's any interest in that or not. The vehicle was appraised at $35,500 if I sold it as it's equipped. VW's they valued it around between $11,500 and $14,500, which comes out about $17,500. The Dodge Charger police car, it's the cheapest one that we can get. It's Ford, Chevy, and Dodge, and that's $24,300. And then there's some equipment, some stripes on it. The difference in the two, if I could get $17,500 out of those two vehicles, the purchase price on the vehicle, the new vehicle, and setup cost would be $10,730. That's roughly, approximately. After I know we're out of budget cycle, so it's been like it's been a money pit, and I'm glad I did get rid of the Impala because I've needed to use that several times when the pickup's been back in the shop, and we've needed for this and needed for that. So if there's, I don't know if there's any interest in that, that's why I'm asking. If not, then I guess that's that.
I think if we could get rid of it, it'd probably be a good idea. Or, that's what you're talking?
Well, I mean, I can get rid of the car, but I hate to get rid of the car if we're not going to get rid of the pickup, because pickup seems to be an issue continuously. The water pump and all that wasn't covered in warranty, which is sickening. I argue with VW and that, but there was no budge. They got to go by corporate rules, they said, because the engine's replaced by corporate engine. So I guess what I'm asking today is not the final on that. If you want, if I should go forward and get some hard numbers on this, or let it be till budget cycle, I don't know. I would like to get rid of them both now and move on.
What year is that?
They're both 06s. We bought the 06 Impala, we bought that in 08. It had been a demonstrator by General Motors to do the trade list.
That great pickup's got a brand new engine, I don't remember.
Yep.
Is that the one you're talking about getting rid of?
Well, both of them, that thing seems to be they had to put brakes in it, had to do an alternator on it, had to do, now the water pump wasn't covered by warranty.
On the gray one?
Mhm.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the old.
Maybe you fixed everything.
Maybe. So. But it presented itself, so I thought we had possibly that palace sold that, so I called John that day to talk about it. He just ran the meeting, so we didn't really get into anything. But in the meantime, Pheasant had bought a different vehicle for a sheriff's office on my old patch.
If you can get rid of two and buy one new one, why can't you just get rid of one and keep driving the gray one?
Well, I'm not arguing that, I'm just
I was
laying it out
thinking
there.
if we could find a home for the Impala, that'd be great to get rid of that.
Right.
I thought it was kind of nice to have a spare then too.
It is, because we need it at
I
times.
mean, for $3,000, it's.
I mean, it isn't costing us anything.
Yeah,
The Impala, no,
spare.
the amount of insurance is so minimal, you wouldn't even notice it if you took it off your list.
And you know, you get rid of two, then you're just down to one four-wheel drive vehicle in the county, then it's just a sheriff's vehicle and that's it, and.
Well, we got that Explorer,
Yeah.
whatever they call it.
I don't know.
I think we're better off with four-wheel drive vehicles in a car in this country.
Yeah, this car is an all-wheel drive, that's what everyone's running mostly. I mean,
Yeah, it still sits on the floor.
But, so, what's your thoughts on that? Lay it out there and be done?
I think we wait until budget cycle, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think so too. I think we'll wait till it comes through budget time and then you'll have that Impala as a spare. If you got any issues with that pickup, then you got something to wheel around in anyway.
Okay, bounce back to that drain. If I need to make contact with a plumber, is there someone you guys want me to use?
We have a local anymore.
Woody.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be glued in a plastic pipe. If that's a problem, then I do that. But, you know it.
Somebody local, I mean, you can't
Okay.
do any job.
What's fingerprints?
Well, yeah, or Shoals too, I don't know. There's not- I don't-
Well, we'll feel. I mean, if it's something that's gonna be
I hate to have somebody drive 100 miles.
exactly,
To do a $5 fitting. on it.
exactly.
Yeah, call it.
All right.
It can't be nothing too serious.
I hope not. I just hope it's not in floor.
I can't believe they got Ferncos in there. That's what I can't believe.
I was surprised. It's right there.
That's something you put in if you fix something.
That's do it yourself or.
Well, by code, they are usable in the wall. They are.
I know,
but I've never did it.
Not new construction.
I was kind of shocked, I guess.
Thanks, Jay. Okay.
Who's next?
Well, we better go back and approve these bills before we
Thanks, Bob.
get too far down. Thanks, Bob.
Yep.
Also on the bills, if you turn to page 8, 9, and 10, I had NACO call to see why we haven't paid our dues. I informed them that you guys had decided not to be members. Then he asked me that I present this page 9 and 10 to you to show you that what services we are receiving from them. It looks like we did get some money in 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 from them. But all the rest, Griggs.
No, we didn't.
Oh, no.
That was
You
just
get it.
money that we got that they happened to tag their name on in the lobbying efforts.
Yeah.
Okay.
They took credit for it,
Okay.
but it didn't come from them.
Okay.
Oh, we get it as a description.
Okay. So then everything else, the Griggs County is not participating. And they said that obviously we can He said that all the counties in North Dakota are members. They would hate to lose us. So just thought I would present it
Well,
to
we
you.
need to go, but
Give them John's cell phone number if they call back.
Evidently, we would hate to lose us worse than we hate to lose them.
I just thought I would bring it back. I mean, didn't put it in with the bills, you
It
know.
looks like they got us $315,000 over the last 5 years.
How do they take credit for USDA rural development funds? They must have lobbied for it.
Yeah.
Put in a good word for us.
I think any of our senators would probably claim they got it for us.
Well, looks like they took credit for all federal programs we received money on.
They probably missed a few.
I'd move to approve the February bills and vouchers as presented.
Been moved by Sean to approve the February bills and vouchers as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
Second?
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. I don't know if we need to make a decision on this or not. Samantha provided us with detailed payrolls. I think if I remember correctly, the premise for that was so that we could better analyze this information individually, so we had a better handle of what was going on. Samantha asked me if I wanted this included in the minutes that were published in the paper, and I told her not to do that. I don't know that we want to pay for the extra space that it would take. For one thing, it is public information if somebody wants it. It just seems like for us to take that initiative would be kind of poking the pig. I don't know. That's not really what I had as an intent when we discussed that at whatever previous meeting it was. So if somebody has a beef with Samantha not putting that in the minutes in the paper, it wasn't her call. And if it is to be done at your wishes, then I think we should have a motion to that effect.
And going forward, would you guys want to keep seeing this sheet?
I think so.
Do you guys want to see the other invoices for townships, schools, all that stuff like you did the last meeting? Do you want them lump sum? It's just a lot of extra work if we have to put them all one by one in your commissioner sheet or whatever. Just giving you guys the invoice sheet would be better for my office, but that's totally up to you.
Well, I think we need to be able to look at each individual check, and today was just an example of why we need to have that happen. So whatever that entails.
You want more detail than what you have here?
No, I think we just need to be able to look at every individual check or the amount of each individual check. I don't think we should have anything lumped together anymore without being able to decipher what that entails, no matter what it is. So if there's a Griggs County, the check there for $15,000 some odd dollars, I think we should be able to know what encompass that $15,000.
Okay.
And we do have those vouchers, right?
I don't think the payroll vouchers are on. It's just the other vouchers.
Well, I mean, this is fine for the payroll.
Yep, but the Griggs County voucher for that $15,000, that's a different one.
Right, but that's many different checks, correct?
No,
That's one check,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. The payroll one above it, that's all of these ones.
Yeah.
And then the one below it, that's for Social Security, payment and payroll deductions.
Yeah, just in general, I'd sure like to see us use the Dakota Soft program more.
Yeah, and
Because I
that's
know you have to type all this in, and it's another potential for error, but.
right. But this one we use for actual payroll process.
Yeah.
In Dakota programs, we kind of use this. But the other bills that you guys see, I can submit like the actual vouchers, this sheet. So you can see exactly which amounts, what they're coming out of, who it's going to, if you would like to see this instead. It's just a lot more paper is all.
Well, I just think to see you do it all in spreadsheets.
Okay.
If you don't have to, because it is a source of error. But,
Right.
Thank you.
What do we have Ernst Trenching do?
Some fiber optics.
They do our locate for fiber. They pay the sole service office in the courthouse. By the time the North Dakota one call comes through, they go out and locate it for us.
$960 for a locate?
This last bill probably was the fiber optic move, when we moved the fiber optics from the old courthouse to the new courthouse. That'll be a one-time charge probably.
But the servers are fired up.
Yeah, when we moved the servers over.
But yeah, that is a good point. We wouldn't have spotted, the issue we ran across today. We didn't have this, so it's a good thing to have.
Okay, so you want to see that sheet?
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely do that.
And then is this sheet okay for the schools and townships?
I think so.
Is it individually will it be individually in our packets?
This sheet
Yeah.
will. Yep.
In the future, that'll be in here.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
For
I think-
townships and schools, do you want this for all bills?
No, I think it's for townships and schools.
So how do you want to see your regular bills?
Oh, you can get,
Because this is what you guys would have seen today
oh, okay, well, that's not.
for the bills.
And that shows every single check for every single.
It doesn't show the check number because we haven't written them yet, but
Okay.
it shows that it's unpaid, status is unpaid, what the check date is, who it's going to, what accounts they're coming out of, for how much is coming out of each account.
Well, I think
It's just extra paper is all.
Okay.
But
Would you still do both? You would still do,
if you want me to do both, I can continue to do both.
or you could stop doing this one and just do that.
Right.
Well, that's kind of, but I don't think you ought to.
You're wanting this.
Yeah, just print the darn thing out.
Okay.
It's gotta be fast.
It is pretty fast because then it eliminates the one, but it does eliminate a check that if we inputted something wrong into this, because when we input our vouchers into Dakota programs, we do this manually. So then could be errors for this, and when we do both, that's when we'll balance the ending balance. And if they don't balance, then we have a problem either in this spreadsheet or in this one.
But you've got other checks and balances too, don't you?
Not for
Okay.
bill wise, no.
Well, I don't know.
So that it's totally up to you. I mean, then this is the exact amount
You
that
have one of these,
I get those. Yep.
so this should be one side of the transaction.
And that's
The check should be the other side of the transaction. Why don't you balance this against the check?
That's what Dakota Programs does. You take the invoice and you input it on Dakota Programs. And then it will give you a balance of the checks written. Then you take that list and you check it off against the invoices. And as long as each check put in matches the invoice put in, that's your check and balance. And it's done one time in the system and it never has to be done again.
I mean, you could balance these against that,
Right.
and it would get you the same thing as recreating that, which you could also have typos on. And I don't.
Lori and I can sit down. I can have the vouchers and she
Yep.
can have the sheet. That's no problem.
But Dakota software has the ability to input the bill before it's paid. And so you use the invoice and then you put it into the system. Okay, once you've done that, now it's in the system, now you take those invoices that you just used to input into Dakota software, and you go through it and you check it off. And if your invoice matches your input, you're all done. The system can't get screwed up again. And then you just move forward. And so that is the check and balance of it. So there is only a potential to make a mistake one time, and you'll catch it right as soon as you close out that initial entry. Because if it doesn't, if they aren't both there,
So Dakota Programs will create the voucher then? Or
Dakota
not?
Programs will create what they call to be paid, I think is what it is. Yeah, and then so there'll be a list of the bills to be paid that would come right there, and then she just goes, and as we okay them, then she goes back, and that goes against the vouchers that already been put in, so you can't miss one that way either. It's a really good system. It just hasn't been used the way it's supposed to be because they've been using the check and balance a spreadsheet off of manually, and anytime you do it manually, you're just problems. So the system's in place. We just haven't made use of it yet. Okay. But you're right. You can voucher against that and then check it back again, and you're done.
So you want to see this? No hard this. Right? Cool.
Yep.
Done.
Okay.
I guess how do we put it in the paper then? Though?
Probably have to type it in the spreadsheet. I don't know. No, there must be a.
Well, this isn't in the paper anyway.
That's what she sends them basically, though.
No, I would input it into.
You do it again, and okay.
We're saving her a step here.
Yeah. And of course, the other check and balance is if you miss an invoice, they're going to tell you that you missed a bill.
Right.
That's a true check and balance.
Or if you only pay them half of what they want.
Right.
There's no check and balance for overpaying. There's always a check and balance for underpaying.
Kelly.
You got the letter from
I did yesterday.
State Court Administrator, just wanting to know if you'd like to be another funding agreement or would like to provide services yourself. Same thing we did
Did this every year.
2014.
Yep. Okay. Yep. We just won't have to talk about it much this year because we know what we're going to do.
Kelly has prepared a response. Oh, that's already in here. It's in your packet on page 22. If your wishes are that we enter into a funding agreement for 17 to 19 biennium to receive a reimbursement for providing clerk of court services.
I move to approve that letter being sent to the state court administrator.
Dale has moved that we enter into a funding agreement with the state of North Dakota, or actually it's the state court administrator, correct?
Southeastern.
Yeah.
For them to reimburse the county for providing clerk of court services. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Did the FTEs change?
Mm-hmm.
They went down a little?
That means you really got
Does
it
it-
easy now.
Wasn't it 0.41 or
It was
something?
0.48 before. We
Yeah,
went
it's
down to
0.48.
Just shy.
So it went down a bunch. Is that just?
Point 0.14.
Yeah.
It was points, yeah, points.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
over 25%.
Yeah, it is over 25%.
It's
What's
pretty
that?
average about the state. There's 28.
Hmm?
What's an
counties.
FPE?
Full-time equivalent.
Oh,
Yeah, before it was point.
They're gonna lower our funding, apparently.
I don't know the dollar amount yet because we haven't got that contract yet. But yeah, 28 counties, and the state went down.
Is that just because of volume?
Well, we have one less deputy out there. I guess I don't know if that makes a difference, but the last 2 years our numbers kind of go down. I would say in the last 20 years, the last 2 years have probably been the lowest numbers we've ever had, but you can turn around and shoot the other way in a heartbeat. And if we continue on the pace that we're at right now, we'll have more cases than
We'll be trying
next year.
Oh,
But
I would say we might have more cases than we did last
it's
year.
based on the caseload compared to the overall caseload of the
Yeah.
system.
system, right?
unfortunately-
So, yeah.
The only thing that, I unfortunately don't like about this study is this .3 only represents the actual time we spend with the case in their program. It doesn't include court time. It doesn't include emails. It doesn't include somebody coming to my counter. It doesn't include phone calls. So, and actually the work that we do sometimes in the program is minimal compared to everything else that we do. So that's the only thing I dislike about the numbers, but it is the way it is. So
To a certain point, you have a little flexibility to influence those numbers, though, correct?
I don't. They're
Spend
strictly
more
based
time
on.
in the program.
No, it's based strictly on the numbers of the cases that are filed. So if there's, I can't. They don't do a time. It's all based on misdemeanors, felonies. You get more credit for felonies because those type of cases require more hearings, more time in the case. Traffics are very low on the scale. It's, the more felonies you have.
But I thought we had to keep track of our time so that they could set a baseline on how long it takes us to work on a felony.
They do that. I don't know how many years. It's a long time.
Okay.
I think when I started in the clerk's office in 2011 was the last time they did
Yeah, I
that.
remember
And I don't
doing that.
remember how many years before that, but
Oh, okay. I thought they did that.
yeah, and things
So in
have
that
changed
case,
drastically
efficiencies are
since
in it.
then. I wouldn't be surprised to see something. I mean, the system has changed drastically. Since they did that, we've now went to electronic filing, where before attorneys could mail documents in, they can't do that now. It all has to be submitted through the computer.
Right, so the
So,
more efficiency it gets, the
they're trying
less time it takes to do it.
trying to
the
streamline
less-
it.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the FTEs are strictly based off the amount of cases that are filed. So if my case numbers shoot off the charts the next couple of years, my numbers will. Well, every year makes a difference. They average 2 years out to come with a number. So it's up and down type scale. So this was the last 2 years, like I said, in the last 20 years, last year was by far the lowest we've ever had in 20 years that I can go back. So, but that can change in a heartbeat. Foster County was off the charts last year, and they're just coming over. So we just never know.
Well, we don't want to hope for a crime wave.
No, we don't. That's it's a double-edged sword. More funding, more funding means more crime. So, we certainly don't ever want that.
Okay.
Could you make a copy of that?
Yep, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Travis. Oh.
Travis, the commissioners would also like to talk to you about this, so just give me that so I don't forget.
You want to do that right now then, I guess? Is this the
Sure.
salary repeater for the sheriff's office?
Yeah.
Okay.
what is it, one server goes here and one in Fargo?
Yeah, there's one backup server located at the courthouse, and then one's located on office.
And that's what you're proposing at the time?
Yeah, we're replacing the two that are in service right now. So these are the
One in Fargo?
one in Fargo, one in here. So these are the replacement units for those two.
And how old are they?
They will be 10 years old on September, so they're well overdue for replacement.
What's the operating system?
The current backup system we're using is Windows-based. We're using Dell's Aperture to back up. This is going to go to Netgear's NAS system.
Oh, this is
it's a ready.
This isn't a server. This is just an array.
Just a NAS array with backup software built into it, basically. So Netgear's, they call it, I think it's version 6 where they're on right now, the Ready NAS software. It's a Linux-based system that does replication across the two then. So the backup software for that $1,000 a year, that's the software that's going to get installed on the actual servers themselves. Then that backs up to the Ready NAS that's going to be located at the courthouse. And then the Ready NAS takes care of its replication to West Fargo. It has built-in backup for that going between the two, I guess.
So we got backup software for 3 servers, but we only have 2 servers?
No, we do have 3 servers. We have their Windows virtual environments. They're physically on one server, but they're 3 actual servers on that one then. So,
What's the software as a service?
that's instead of buying the actual StorageCraft full license, you're paying a yearly fee then. So that 1,008 is going to be every year for those 3 licenses. Then we get them as we always get updates. We always get tech support with it. Instead of if we just bought the software itself, it would be a lot higher cost up front. But then if you wanted to say upgrade to a new version, you'd have then buy it again. So.
Was this in the budget?
Yeah, we had that. It was a 10,000 something, I believe, but we carried over from that we had planned on. Actually, we were paying 10,000 a year for a Dell lease for 3 years for all the hardware and equipment software we purchased 4 years ago, I guess. The idea was then when that was finalized this year, we would actually use that 10,000 to replace the backup servers.
So what are we at risk of if we don't need this?
Right now, the backup system, we've had many hard drives fail on it. It is aged. It does have some issues starting up. We've had some problems where an update would happen, it would restart, and wouldn't actually start the services. So if we did lose, say, a database went down or we lost information, if that backup system wasn't running, we'd lose that data that was lost then. So, and if the courthouse itself, say, was completely destroyed, if we didn't have an offsite, we wouldn't have any data then.
Yeah.
The problem with these arrays when they get old, it's hard to find the hard drives.
Yep.
So then you end up going and buying them on eBay or something, or sitting in the warehouse someplace.
And that's what I did with the last 4 hard drives we bought used, and they're working. It just the risk is greater the older it gets, the more likely we'll have a catastrophic failure of that system. So
The technology changes so much that in 10 years you're talking a different language almost.
Yeah.
They're different. They're not the same size. They're not just.
I guess one thing I didn't mention here,
That's not what I think of when I think of software as a service. When we buy software as a service at the bank, for instance, Wolters Kluwer, their new software for our home mortgages is a software as a service. Well, that means we log in through a portal.
Okay.
And we're at that point working on their server. That's what I think of as software as a service. That's why I was wondering, what the hell is that?
we could either buy the software up front, which is about $3,500.
This is basically a lease.
Yeah, you're basically you're renting the use of their software, so every time they have an update, you get the update.
You're renting a license.
Yeah, and you're also renting basically the tech support on it too. So if there's any problems, I can call in and say, hey, this is happening. They'll help with us without charging us for that time. Right? So
We're not actually using their resources.
no,
not their appliances. We're
not actually any physical thing from them. So yeah, we're keeping our equipment in house. So And then the server that's in place at my location, all the drives get encrypted to meet compliance in case if that system was stolen, you can't just plug in a hard drive and get all the information off of it. So
Just beyond my figure, I can't even comment on any of this.
Well,
To make it else make me think about it, I don't know.
when you have encrypted, we don't even have encrypted storage in the bank. We have encrypted transmission. When you start using encrypted storage, it just takes a lot more resources. It slows down the whole world.
the system here will not be encrypted.
No,
But the transmission to mine and my unit will actually be encrypted just because it's not on premise here. And we can turn that feature off or on. It's built into the
well,
software.
it just
So.
depends on what kind of risk mitigation you use within your facility. Our servers are in a data center in Des Moines, Iowa, and they have other security measures in place, so we chose not to encrypt the data and storage.
Evidently, from listening to the news, I have the best encryption the world has available.
Yeah.
My Apple phone. Our intelligence agency's kind of been breaking that, baby.
We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it.
Tell Tim Cook you'll have to
The
do
funny thing is, haven't they
Not yet.
before?
The FBI.
No, Apple, haven't they broke into phones for them guys before? They haven't done that?
No, they're they're called jailbreaking. It's basically allowing you to take. Say if you bought an iPhone that's tagged to Verizon's network, you'll jailbreak it, and then you can use on AT&T's.
Oh.
That's what they were doing between it was carrier locked, basically that idea.
Oh.
And so you're seeing encryption on mobile devices becoming a pretty standard practice. Android phone offers the ability to do that. You can actually encrypt all your data right on the phone. So.
They can get in the phone and just can't read what's on the memory. Because it's encrypted.
They want to break, they can only try it so many times in an Apple phone or erase everything. So they'll never win because the government's asking them to invent software. They're not asking them to get in there, they're asking them to invent a product they don't have.
Mm-hmm. To make it easy to
But they have
access.
2 weeks to respond in those days.
I don't think they're not gonna be able to make them do it.
I think the public outcry is going to tell them to prevent them to do it, hopefully, because I think that's just the idea and intent is good. They want to be able to track terrorist criminal activity. The problem is you open the door to other people.
I think the downside is greater than the upside.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just
Yeah,
my
that's my
it renders their product useless because now you have to go and now it's out there. The genie's out of the bottle. So now they have to go do it again.
China's actually watching this really closely because
Then all somebody has to do is steal it from the FBI, and we know how secure their servers are.
Yeah, that's true. And once it's out, it's out.
Don't even have to steal it. You just got to go to Hillary Clinton. Good email and download Everybody doing it. So I don't know about this. I'm not whatever you guys are up. I don't know what to.
I see it's in the budget, so we got 10,800 for server update,
We don't really need to take action on that.
4,500 for.
No, but it's nice he came and talked to us about it.
Yeah, I want to make sure everyone's up on board as far as what's going on.
How about the laptop?
Space Marines requested a laptop, and then Wayne's laptop is having some problems. It's not starting sometimes. And so we're looking at getting 2 new laptops. One to replace Wayne's laptop, which is 5 years old, going over 5 years. And then the State's Attorney's Office requested one. The laptop they had is really old. It actually had Windows XP on it. So when that went out, we took that out of service about a year and a half or 2, whenever actually what XP was.
July of 14.
Yeah, so it's been sitting in storage doing nothing for for a while here. So
I've been using my old laptop and I'm not so certain I want to do that with some of the documents I draft, so I figured it probably wouldn't be a bad idea. It is what it is. I guess if you guys don't want one, I'll just continue using my own. But some of the documents probably shouldn't be on my personal laptop.
on a security aspect standpoint, my opinion is we should have a laptop that is controlled by IT that he's utilizing for any information on it. Because then we make sure the updates are done correctly. No offense if you're doing them on your personal one, but it's mandated through our IT department, then we know that it got a patch, it got this, it was running proper antivirus and so forth. So, and it has the ability to access the state's network then, so.
Right, well, and his user is probably the administrator,
Yeah, it's just to be the local administrator on that system then, so.
which should be. I mean,
There's more security protocols.
you don't have any of these people set up as administrators on their local machine.
Well, they're not administrators on the server network, but they're local administrators, meaning they can actually mandate and install a program if need be.
Really?
That's the department heads, you mean,
No, that the local users have, every user has local admin rights, meaning they have the ability to install a program on their actual desktop.
or?
They don't have administrative rights on the network as far as the servers or any data infrastructure that if I'm not giving them permission to a folder, they can't just log into it. So.
Yeah, but you're still leaving the door open if somebody downloads some kind of software on their,
Surveillance software.
huh?
Surveillance software under the computer. That would be a
I
risk.
mean, we don't have none of our users have administrative rights on their machines. I have the administrative password for all the machines,
Mm-hmm.
but people can't just do whatever they want on their local machines. That's kind of a dangerous practice.
We can change it. It was set up that way to begin with. It was for you're balancing off the ease of use for the local user. For if there's something update that needs to be run and needs a manager approval, then they have to get me involved for anything. So
And that's pretty dangerous. I mean, there's all kinds of spy software that could be downloaded onto the, not even intentionally, or a computer sitting there unmanned. Somebody, I mean, that's I don't know if that's such a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like the department head was the admin. Then if Rory wanted some software, she'd just have to go to you and you have the password.
Or go to Travis.
No, go to Travis.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because what software do they really need over and above what we need to run the county? And that should already be there anyway.
Yeah, I suppose it wouldn't happen very often.
You have intrusion detection software on,
the state does. State has network intrusion detection.
not locally, though.
Not locally, no.
Antivirus.
Antivirus, yes.
They use intrusion detection on the firewalls.
Yep. We most definitely can look at reviewing as far as changing over to a standard users for local systems, and then we can just track how much
Who
additional.
makes the rules for security on the county?
You guys do, I guess. We basically, it's us, you and me, deciding what our best practices are for how we want to go forward.
I mean, there's no standards or anything?
I guess the state would probably have recommendations as far as what we should do. They recommend operating systems such as, when Windows 10 came out, they're saying that doesn't work for the systems, please don't upgrade. So they have some general overview of it, but it's up to the county to establish its practices for security.
Well, isn't there, the minimum is based on safeguarding the employee's records, basically, and there is a minimum for that, correct? Health records and things like that.
Oh, well, yeah, as far as
they're on
state, yeah. So any our databases are on the server. Those are locked down. Basically, only I can get access to as far as controlling of them. And then we did without permission as need be to the end user. So if they're opening up their Dakota program, they're opening up their managed software for file storage and so forth. So I mean, it really, there's no real data on the actual local computer itself, but they're all accessing it either web-based or program-based database into the servers.
Weren't you writing up something like a policy manual or a procedure manual?
Yeah, we were working on trying to get, I guess I'm going to have to finish that maybe on that more as far as best practice, like what employees can and cannot do on the network. We don't have anything in play right now. I believe that is something we should be working on as well.
Talking about an acceptable use policy.
Acceptable use policy, yeah.
Policy manual? The policy manual?
Yeah,
It would be a policy within the policy.
Within policy, yeah. It was
No more
additional.
Amazon.
Basically, the idea is that these computers should be utilized just for work and nothing else. If you wish to do something personal on your break time, you can do it on your phone or go home and do it. There shouldn't be anything on the system because we have access to quite a bit of sensitive information, I guess. But this is my opinion. I guess we'd have to, my recommendations to you, you guys would have to formulate and approve whatever policies that I recommend forward, I guess. So.
Because you have web content filtering capabilities.
We can. We would have to put an appliance in or some piece of software in.
Well, you don't have it now.
No, we're the state's filtering our web content, so, and their filtration is pornographic, viruses, spyware websites, phishing sites, and we could go further if we wanted to actually start blocking, say, Facebook, say, anything else beyond that, I guess. So. And if that's something you guys want to look into, we should discuss it this year for budgeting. Next year, if that's something we should go forward with, or if there's nothing in this year's budget to look into what it require or what.
Right. Well, I'm just thinking of information security more than babysitting. But the bad people are on social media.
Unfortunately, that's what a lot of times too. You get legitimate sites. Are mechanisms for systems to get it infected through it. You see that a lot on the third.
And I know the state legislature doesn't have the stomach to do the right thing because they allow Facebook.
Because they use it for the state, then they want to have the.
Well, they can have a separate system that's not running through their VPN. No, they don't have to do it within the system.
Were these in the budget too, these two laptops?
Yeah, we have a $5,000 line item for new equipment. So.
Yeah.
So we don't have to take any.
No, just Travis is good to keep us in the loop.
What about that cell phone booster?
I guess what questions you have on it?
It just seemed like a lot of money for a. I mean, I just bought 2 of them.
Oh, this is their biggest kit they make for in-house or in-building systems. And
Is it Wilson?
Wilson, yes. Yeah. And then basically what the idea is, we'll be able to add additional internal antennas. So right now there's 2 that we're looking at, and if we want to, we could add on for the building as well. So a little better coverage. And it's all LMR 400 cable, 3A, so a little bigger stuff. So it's a good quality installation then. So, and then we're doing our battery backup on unit too. So in case of power failure, cell phone will still run for generator kicks in basically. But
That seems like a waste of time.
so I guess we put them in there. So that's one thing I guess we could take out of there is that battery backup. So it's. Well, no, that generator, basically that flashing, it probably wouldn't even cut off because amp is running. That downtime probably wouldn't be enough to actually drop a call. I don't think so. I've never tested it, but
Well, it probably would, but I don't know that would. What are the chances?
yeah. Well, Tuesday morning at 9, I guess.
Oh, on Tuesday mornings it wouldn't drop a call. I don't think.
Oh no, it should be because the power's on. It's just switching back and forth.
I'm talking about an actual outage.
outage,
Yeah, it might. But what's the chances of having an outage? What's the chances somebody's on a call during that outage? I mean,
So yeah, I mean
that's belt and suspenders to the nth degree at that point, in my mind.
I don't know. I guess it's a different circumstance, but when I start losing cell phone coverage, I just walk out the door. Maybe we're dealing with public safety here, and again, maybe that's.
Well, if it's a 911 call, you don't really want it to get dropped
Yeah.
if grandma's laying out on the sidewalk in a snowbank or something.
So. As long as Bob was going to try to take it out of the DES budget, maybe that's okay.
Yeah, he says as much as possible or something, so. Yeah, I guess
The backup seems unnecessary.
Yeah, in hindsight, I'm so used to adding them, so didn't think about that with the generator here. So we can take that unit out, and then the cable too. I put 250 feet. When we actually run it and install it, say if it's 200, we'll just credit you guys back 50 feet, and then bill the labor on that invoice. And so That was my best guess, kind of going off the maps of that too, but.
So as much coming out of the DES, and then if there's anything more, what would you like that to be taken out of?
Well, we need a motion.
Yeah, I think we can make a motion for it.
I would make a motion that we install a cell phone booster in the new courthouse.
Moved by Dale to install a cell phone booster in the new courthouse as requested by the sheriff's department. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion?
Were we gonna read the UPF?
No, I removed it. That's what you want to do.
I couldn't remember which way we went.
Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron? Aye. Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye.
Then I had a question about the road department right now. We have a point-to-point DSL system in place. We're just renting a copper pair from the phone company. They are basically getting rid of all their copper for fiber installation, so we have to look into other options for getting internet service over there, I guess. The question becomes, well, are we gonna, is Wayne still planning on being there all the time? Do we need internet service over there? Do we have to get, should I be looking at like a phone company renting from them? I mean, they do offer, direct fiber connection from point to point for that. There's a possibility of wireless. We have this old service building, the tower there, but is that building going to be in play still? So.
If we can help it.
Okay.
They're gonna have fibers they're gonna put fiber into all the.
The phone company has fiber into everywhere. I got a general price from I think it was Tyler or Taylor, I don't recall for sure now, from the phone company. A dedicated point-to-point link, 50 meg connection. Their books, they charge $9.52, I believe, per month for that connection. He was willing to negotiate down a little bit with us because it's not data that's going out of the state, it's just locally here.
$952
Yeah.
a month.
A month, yeah.
No.
I mean, that's why we did the fiber from our own fiber between the courthouse and Soul Service building, was just because the intent at that time was to have the building for 20, 30 years. We can pay it for itself pretty quickly that way. So.
Why wouldn't you just put a firewall over there and have a VPN tunnel?
We'd have to get internet from either phone company or provider. That limits what Wayne would have access to as far as the server speeds, as far as him being able to save files, what he's doing on there. It is definitely an option, so that's why I wanted to talk to you guys. Where should I be looking? Is the social service building out of the question? So don't look at any options that utilize that. Is what kind of budgeting time for kind of thought you guys might have on it? I know you want to try to go as inexpensive as possible, but.
What does
Wayne use on the server?
File storage. So any of his documents he creates for his work is saved here then.
I can't see how that would be a issue with performance on it through a VPN tunnel.
Well, we have right now he's connected. Well, it'd be a bit a VPN tunnel would probably be a speed increase to his current connection, but it wouldn't be as far as going forward to it might be a hindrance on it. I would look at as far as what we could be doing for it. It all depends on how much data he's accessing and how much data he's transferring back and forth. With his job, most of his work, I guess, for like 911 coordinator is web-based.
It would be my argument, again, to have a terminal services-based network instead of a network like we have connected today.
And that might be something we could look at for him as far as, basically he would have just a dumb terminal sitting there and then connecting into a system here at the courthouse. So then he'd have local access through that. It's all that's being sent is just a video signal, control signal back and forth. So. But that building is going to be in play. He's going to be over there. That's the intent still. Have Wayne's office there, I guess, or.
I would think so. I don't know. I mean, we sure haven't talked about anything.
Okay, that's why I didn't know either. I didn't know what was the plan, I guess. So. I don't know. You know, the DSL system, we've had some problems with it dropping every once in a while. The equipment's actually older. It was here before I started, so I'm not sure how old it actually is. But we need to look into it here probably next year for sure for something.
Because you have a firewall here.
Well, we don't have, the state does. The state has a firewall. So we have a direct encrypted link from here to the state locally, and then they firewall our internet traffic outside the state's network.
So will they allow you a port to come in on VPN?
They allow a VPN connection. So like that's more for like mobile users. I'll have to look into it more as far as what, you know, the printing services. So like a network printer wouldn't work then, because he's on a VPN. That would render it useless, and he'd have to be connected via USB cable for his printer. But you know, how much stuff does he print? I guess that's what I need to look in.
We have a VPN tunnel between Macville and Tolna and Binford, and we can use any printer and all that.
That is a different type of VPN tunnel. So you're doing network tunneling. So there's two separate networks. This would be just his laptop tunneling into the system then. So
Almost seems like it would be a lot better deal to buy everybody an iPad. The department heads and have a central point to download and the information manually if you wanted to, and just carry it that way. I mean, we're getting then we don't have all these tech fees. We don't have all the rest of this stuff. The information they need when they stop in the office in the morning, they can download it. We're getting awful technical on some of this stuff.
Well, I agree.
A subscription fee for 5 iPads. Dang, it just seems never ending here.
Well, in my mind, the whole state, since we're running on the state's network anyway, other than I don't know if I trust their capabilities either. It seems like they should have something set up like we have at the bank, where they have a data center in Bismarck, and we access that system through a web-based portal.
That's what I mean.
And
like the tunneling protocol, like you're talking about your networks, we could most definitely do that. We have the capability of doing it. It just, we'd have to get I can't remember what they call from the state. They don't like us having any other internet provider except for them in the building. We'd have to get a waiver, a waiver from them to be able to do that. I mean, you know, for that $952, you know, if we went and got just an internet connection here and an internet connection there, did a VPN encrypted tunnel between the two, bridged it, that would be very easy to do.
right.
And it'd be fast, because I think the entry level internet package from MLGC is 100 meg down, 25 up. So that would be a 25 by 25 up and down between the two buildings, and you'd have your overhead for encryption. But you could easily do a 20 meg connection through that system and just be the hardware cost, which isn't that expensive. And then that office would be connected, the printer would work, everything would work. We would have to get the waiver from the state to be able to do that, I guess. And I can most definitely look into that too.
Okay.
I mean, what's the grounds for that? What are their, you know, what rights does the state have, I guess.
It just seems like there should be an easier way to do it.
All right.
One thought was like a 900 megs wireless system, which does a lot better penetration through trees and stuff like that. But I haven't done any tests here as far as distance and what kind of stuff like that too. But so the backup servers and then the 2 computers, that's been okay then. So I can submit the invoice to Samantha then for that. And then we'll take off the $100 for the battery backup on the cell repeater. And we'll get that equipment ordered then.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Travis.
It's after 4 o'clock, boys.
Yeah.
So I'll just email you this.
If you guys have other stuff on the agenda, Dan, I think is still in
And then these are the
adoption of the cities.
invoices
Oh,
I haven't gotten a reply back from my shop text and me, so if you guys want to keep on going on the agenda, I think that's good.
yeah. Could we take a 5-minute break?
No, yeah, right here.
Second. Call the meeting back to order.
I'll make a motion that we recess regular session and move into executive session.
It's been moved by John, seconded by Sean to recess regular session and go into executive session. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I have my agenda back.
We'll reconvene the regular session with no motions being acted on in executive session.
What's on the front side of that?
It's just the vouchers. Any follow-up that we need to visit about?
I make a motion that we instruct State's Attorney Tennyson to move forward with the course of the lawsuit and any settlements, possible settlement arrangements or agreements that could be had, and report back to us with his findings.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We got a lot of agenda items.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just letters.
We could take a 5-minute break though. At least I'm gonna take one. You
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Call the meeting back to order. Next thing on the agenda is tax director training report and assessor info. Page 24.
That was kind of in conjunction with February 3rd was her 6-month probation period has ended, and we have to act on whether or not we want to offer her employment.
Okay.
And so we thought it was prudent to look at what she's done so far and make a decision on whether or not to move forward. She was hired 8/3 of 15, and we had to meet in the 4th, but there was only 3 of us here, so the handbook calls for a special meeting or consideration of the probationary period, and then you have the right to move forward from there.
Okay.
So that was the reasoning behind the status of where she stands for her training. She has 2 years, is that right, Ron, to be certified as a level 1 assessor. To date, she has accomplished 10 hours out of the requisite 180 hours of instruction, which she's at 5.5% complete, where she should be at 25%. She's made a number of mistakes. First of all, she offered her services as an assessor to the city of Binford. She's not an assessor. The city of Binford actually accepted her offer of $8,000 and was going to move forward with it until they were made aware that she doesn't have the ability to assess the property. That's still in limbo. The other thing that brings a little bit disturbing, the reason she couldn't be here today is because she's at the executive session of the IAAO, Ron?
Yeah, I think, or something like
Which
that.
is the Association for Tax Directors, and they have their executive meeting out there. Serves absolutely zero training purposes, zero purpose at all for her to be there. We don't know why she's there, but she is there.
What's the executive meeting mean?
Well, it's,
The executive session of the board of directors for that organization, they basically set the rules, the training rules and that kind of thing.
Well, I don't think it's even an executive session. It's probably just a director's meeting.
Yeah, but anyway, none of what she's out there for is involved with training.
She's not.
No, there's no courses or nothing offered.
She's not a director on the association.
That's, maybe she is.
Are we a member of the association?
I think we must be. I don't know.
So, curiosity can be one of the reasons she's out there. So, but anyway, we have to make a decision on whether or not we want to move forward with keeping her employed as a tax director.
I don't know if today, since she's not here, I don't know if today would be appropriate.
No, I don't think so.
Anything, I think it'd be appropriate if you met with her or had a meeting with her involved, but.
That was the purpose of this. We thought that's why we wanted her here, and then she couldn't be here. She sent this instead. No, I think we need to set up a meeting with her to discuss what's happened, took place during her probationary period, and if we want to move forward with having her as a tax director. That's the purpose of the probationary period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we should have that 6-month review, and it's probably be all of us, right?
I would think so.
Well, yeah, you guys can make a decision with at least a quorum, so.
Right, and when we tried that before, to appoint a committee, we had to hold a meeting anyway, so that didn't work, so we might as well just have the.
So I don't know if that needs to be at the next meeting, and it needs to be an executive session when that happens, or I don't know how that works.
I'm not sure it can be an executive session.
I don't think that can, the review, I'll have to do some research, but I don't think the review of an employment contract is an executive session, but I could be mistaken.
What's the acronym?
IAOO. It's on all these two. It must be the.
But I think this is a different one. This is like the North Dakota Assessoring Association, and because it's all local people, like the guy from Stutzman County is the president, and somebody from some other county. But it must be the.
I think you should just be able to Google the
North Dakota
Assessor Association.
She had a North Dakota Assessor Association meeting?
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, because I found the agenda by somehow going there. They are having like a winter conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's North Dakota
Well, if it's,
Association of Assessing Officers.
if it's a winter conference, it probably, I mean.
Yeah, because that's what she signed out for on her door, was the winter conference. And then I looked up, because I didn't have any idea where a winter conference.
I think just about every office has a winter conference where they do have training. I know the State's Training Association has CLEs that I go to.
I have a fall conference.
What's that?
I have the fall conference for the auditors.
Yeah, none of it's listed here on her training agenda. These dates aren't listed, nothing going on. Anyway, we need to have that discussion.
Assessor that does our township and 3 others notified us that he does not intend to get the continuing education to keep doing his things. So they'll inform more townships about an assessor after he can't do it.
Well, we should really talk about that quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
Because she really misled us, Patty did. Because, and they asked for, in this list, they want a list of active assessors. And your assessor can keep on assessing. He does not have to be certified.
No.
But his work has to be.
Yeah,
right?
somebody has to review his work and approve it, or review it and approve it. But he can still be your
As
assessor.
long as he's appointed until.
In 2017,
Until
right?
2017. He's gonna do it, but he's not gonna get.
Well, he can keep doing it after
Forever.
2017.
Oh, you can.
Yep,
Or-
yep, as long.
Here, this came from Emily Thompson, it's page 25 in the yellow down there, just to follow up.
As long as he's still appointed, he can keep doing it. Is that
Yeah, as long as you guys want to hire him.
It says any assessments made by an assessor who is not certified under the new requirements may be reviewed by a certified assessor prior to the township or city board of equalization meeting. And that can go on in perpetuity.
Yeah, so he can keep on being your assessor.
Well, he'll keep doing it, but he's not doing the additional education.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to. You just have to get it checked off by a certified assessor. So he can do 90% of the work. And the sign off should be a real simple deal. Just get somebody to check it.
Because at that point, he isn't really the assessor. He just gathers the information, and then the assessor signs off on it.
Kind of like a journeyman.
Basically, yeah, they're just out there, just like when they did Cooperstown, people ran all for assessors. They just went and filled the forms out, and then, So that isn't really a big deal anymore. Although we don't have an assessor to sign off on it, we should have by then, would we not?
What's that?
We should have an assessor by then.
Yeah, should have by then. Yeah. And I guess Barb is still possibly an assessor, but we should have some more.
Yeah, and it appears like she's the only one.
I think so.
Yeah, I talked to her a couple of weeks ago, and she was looking for certification.
Yeah, I don't know where that's at. She got certified, but I just have that. So anyway, I think we're okay, and we should relay that information. Yeah, here it is. Good morning, Mark and Ron. As of today, there are only 2 assessors for my counties from Patty. For my county who qualify. Barb Anderson, who only does the city of Hannaford when requested, and Farrah Saxberg, who works for the city of Cooperstown. Barb has tax director certification, former tax director of Griggs County. Farrah is working towards certification. So there's no one else that meets these requirements. So Barb is the only one.
So Farrah can't, she's been doing assessing work for townships and stuff too.
If this is correct, if Farrah is working towards it, she would have to have someone sign off for her also.
No, but prior to this.
Prior to she didn't need.
I mean, prior to this legislation.
Right.
Oh, she didn't need to.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, back then.
Okay.
And Ron's on this out, but the state requires and mandated all this training. They don't keep an active database of who qualifies under their training. So Ron called the state to find out who the assessors were, and they said, we don't know. We don't keep those records, but they're required the training.
So it's kind of a
Keep working.
honor code kind of situation.
So I'm quite sure, I don't know how they lost it, but I sent my training in.
You just never got your class 1 certificate then.
No. I just assumed they kept it on file. Our bureaucracy at work. Here's what you gotta do, here's the regulations, and then.
We're not going to keep track.
We don't have any idea.
Okay, so we don't need to take any action right now. Now, that township meeting next week, does somebody need to go there and explain this stuff to them?
Wrong.
Well, no. I mean,
That's that no meeting?
you got to tell
Township officers.
You're a better speaker than I am, John, so I volunteer. But I don't think it should be Patty. Because she's gotten it pretty mixed up, so I think we ought to have John do it.
Yeah. As long as we're sure that we can guarantee that we're gonna have a level 2 assessor to sign off on all this.
Well, yeah, and I guess they could go to Steele County and get a level. I mean, it's not a county certified class 2 assessor.
It's the state.
Yeah, it's a state certification.
But I mean, are we gonna be able, we can't compel someone to do it, they have to do it.
But I mean, some of these counties, if there is a certified class 2 assessor in Steele County, then you could get them to sign off on your assessments.
Yeah, when is this? This is in June?
No, I don't think, April or something, isn't it?
What's that?
These board like.
Oh, township officers.
The
Yeah.
annual meeting comes up in April. And
Oh, I thought it was coming up pretty quick.
Well, there is a township
The
meeting.
annual
It's
township
pretty-
meeting is on March.
Yeah, that Arlen's gonna run downtown, and somebody, like John should explain just what this new legislation means, because it really is different from what Patty told. Patty called all these assessors and told them they were not qualified to do the assessment.
Okay, so it says any assessment made by an assessor who is not currently certified must be reviewed and approved by a certified assessor prior to the township or city board of equalization annual meeting. So
Yeah.
that's in
April.
No, it's later than that.
later.
It's pretty nice.
It's in the
though.
summertime.
I think it's June.
Is
I
it?
think it's
Okay.
June.
Okay.
It's after Springs work, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it is.
The cost of the assessment review must be paid by the township or city having jurisdiction over the assessment at the time, and the same rate that's paid to a special assessor in 57-1408. I believe that this came from Linda Ledbetter. I believe that all townships and cities can continue to work with their existing assessor. The only thing they'll have to do differently is that these assessments will have to be reviewed and approved by a certified assessor before the board meeting. When's that meeting?
Oh, we don't, that, you do.
No,
March
the
9th.
Oh,
township.
March 9th or something.
March 9th.
Oh.
So this year, does that have to happen, or are they good till 2017?
Good till 7.
So this year they're okay, right?
No, it still has to be,
Certified
Still has to be examined by a certified.
this year, it does
Yeah.
too, okay.
Reviewed and approved.
all the townships and cities may continue to work with their old active assessors. Assessor does not have to be certified in order to be active. And it doesn't matter whether or not they're certified.
Yeah, because that's
That's
what
on this page.
one lady, Marcy, she asked for a list. She asked Patty for a list of active assessors, and Patty said, we don't have any except these two. Well, we've got a lot of active assessors, they're just not certified.
So really, like John said, all they would have to do is just, it's not going to be as bad as what everybody thought it was. They could just go grab the data and bring it into her and
Who?
whoever the tax assessor, or whoever's certified.
Whoever certified, we don't have.
We don't have anybody.
Yeah, it should be just a pretty, I mean, they know how to do it, these township guys, so it should be a pretty quick sign off.
Yeah. Patty's probationary period doesn't allow her to be assessor. It allows her to be the tax equalization director, but it doesn't allow her to be an assessor.
Once she doesn't have the training to be able to sign off on it anyway.
No.
Right, but she does perform some of the duties of the tax equalization director under the waiver.
No, administrative.
Okay, so March 9th at 1:30, somebody needs to go explain that to these township guys, so they don't all jump ship.
March 9th.
Wednesday, March 9th.
I will be there.
I think last year the 5 of us attended and had
Yeah.
a public meeting, but
Well, I think I was just going to say, I think the first year that you guys didn't show up, I think you guys got a lot of flack.
yeah, I
So
think
would
probably
advise
the 5 of us should
everybody
try to
to
go.
Yeah, we better.
And Samantha.
Okay,
Yeah, I think you guys were all there last year.
When's the next?
Commissioner meeting is going to be on Thursday, March 4th.
Oh,
Or March 3rd,
Third.
sorry. March 3rd.
okay.
so you'll put a review on then of Patty's employment status on the
Yep, I have Patty on the next meeting.
It's on the agenda for next meeting.
Yeah.
2 o'clock or 1 o'clock? You said on the
1 o'clock,
3rd.
okay? Notice of taxes paid under protest.
This is just for you to review. He doesn't vote here, so this was the only way to, I guess,
Oh, he's in Foster County?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he's right across, about a mile over the line.
Irritated nevertheless. Okay. Load restrictions.
I think last year you guys just had me write them a letter, saying I guess you would like them or whatever.
With their help with weight enforcement.
Yep.
Would you like Samantha to send that letter again?
I think so. I'd move we have Samantha reply to North Dakota Highway Patrol for weight reinforcement on our county roads.
Is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Right. And I think Wayne automatically goes out and puts up the signs on these local restrictions. So we-
Opposed, same sign.
What's that?
Motion carried.
Yeah.
Who's discussing?
He was late.
I thought the motion was done. I thought we'd already moved.
Next thing is a letter on that multi-hazard mitigation plan. Next thing is the same.
Yeah, that doesn't say that much for mitigation plan, it just it says we're done with it. I don't think.
Yep,
it's-
and we did get a phone call that we will be receiving our grant funds. So I've submitted all the information for them to send our grant funds back. So
Like
Okay.
$30 or something.
I think so.
Got a letter here from Harold. Proposal to do the 2015 audit.
We talked about that at the last meeting or whatever, so this is the proposal from Harold if you would like to go forward or not. Just
Kind of surprised, I thought he might have a special Griggs County John Wakefield price up for us.
Was, I didn't have to work for it.
But yeah, I think, I'm okay for us to continue with him. So I move that we accept the proposal from Rotunda to perform this year's audit. 2016
Been
audit.
moved by Ron to accept Harold Rotunda's proposal to perform the audit for 2015. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale.
I just have one
Is there any
question.
discussion?
Second paragraph from the end. He's gonna do it for $3,800, but then if a single audit is required, there will be an additional $2,900. I don't know what that means.
The only thing I can think of is like for a certain county, if he comes in and just one audit, 1 year.
Oh.
But it doesn't sure wouldn't apply to us.
Yeah, he's got a list of them in the back where he's
Yeah.
done like 4 of them.
Yeah, some of us like Sour Basin Transit, he did that single audit, and he must have just came in and done a single. It just,
Well, is he asking us for a multi-year contract?
no, I don't think so.
It just says he's committed to maintaining the same fee for 3 years.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's what we could. But a year and see how that screws it up this year before we give them another year.
Can I see that?
I don't know what that means, but it doesn't matter. That's the only question I have.
Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale? Ron? Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carried. Garrison Conservancy grant applications for recreation. Anybody got anything in mind?
It says we're supposed to pass it on to the park, notify the park board.
Yeah, Griggs County doesn't have one.
No.
Have a fair board.
Does it go to the Cooperstown Park Board and Hannaford Park Board?
Right, but not county.
But they take care of that, they must send it direct to the Cooperstown Park Board. We don't have to do it, I don't think.
Well, I think we should forward this letter to them.
the three part?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, well, Samantha can do that.
Mhm.
I think Hannaford used it when I got playground equipment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think.
I don't know if that was this Garrison, was it Garrison money? Was that?
I thought it was, and I think Bedford used it for something a few years back.
So nothing from me, right? Just send this letter on to the other park boards and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Anything else on that? AirMed. Somebody tell me what
what does this mean?
it means that the taxpayers of Griggs County through their real estate taxes will subsidize air ambulance travel for people that don't have insurance that will cover it.
They will, or they're asking us?
They're asking us to do that. Last year we declined. But I could not find what they're asking for in their terms in agreement.
For dollars or?
Well, generally that's what terms mean in an agreement, but there are no terms in there.
It says there, enclosed you'll find the terms and conditions for the membership program along with the tax bill.
That's the second. That's the second page, but there's no.
I know, but there's nothing in there.
Nothing
either.
in there. That's-
Nothing in there either.
This is all I got.
Can I see it, Samantha?
Was these two pages and that. And I didn't want to put that in your packet because it's a lot of ink.
They come in the fall anyway, don't they?
As far as I know. I just don't see how this is a function of county government. I just can't get my head wrapped around that. Is there a due date on this thing?
I'm sure the team's done.
Oh. Shall be filed at the same time the petition is filed. I already gave you that a long time ago.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. That was my fault.
Well, I have one on file already. I don't know why they want another one. Okay. Is I missing something to whack or?
Third paragraph in the second page, eligible county residents will pay no out-of-pocket charges for the medical air transport.
Right.
AirMed will bill the eligible county residents insurance carrier,
Right.
if any. So does that mean that the person's insurance carrier?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And accept the payment as payment in full for the services. If the eligible county resident does not carry any medical insurance, AirMed will cover the entire cost of the transport.
Right.
So I don't know if the county's on the hook for any of this.
If we're members, we're insuring the uninsured.
But I think before you guys make any action, I think you should find out what it's going to cost. Maybe it doesn't cost anything. There's other agreements that don't.
Then why did we get this?
The last paragraph, the first page, if you're considering a countywide membership for the residents, we'd be happy, okay, to submit an official proposal and or attend a county commission to meeting to explain the details of Sanford AirMed program. So if we became a member, then what they're talking about here, eligible county residents insurance carrier, would be this carrier we're talking about here.
If you're uninsured. This is like.
Well, everybody, the county would buy into this program, and then every eligible county resident would be insured. And so then, if any county resident didn't have insurance, would draw from this program, but would have to pay to the
But if
bill.
you do have insurance, they go after your insurance company first. If I'm reading that right.
Right.
Yeah. So they want us, if you're considering a countywide membership for residents, we have to submit an official proposal and/or attend a county commission meeting to explain the details of Sanford's AirMed membership program.
I have Sanford insurance. I wonder if they really stick themselves if they just
I was thinking the same thing.
So maybe we should contact them at Sanford AirMed, sanfordhealth.org, and have them come make a presentation to us.
I would hurt to find out.
Again,
maybe it's cheap.
Well, and I know some of them, you know, like some of Steve's hired men, they've been air flighted to Fargo, and they never pay anything.
Right.
But I don't know who pays it, because they don't have insurance or anything, but it's just a free flight to Fargo whenever they need it.
Well, I mean, you can't deny medical services based on ability to pay. So,
Yeah, so
the
if-
Sanford Health pays it, more likely they've set up an insurance program to try and cover some of their debt.
Yeah, if it's free, oh, I see, yeah, so that they could get some money out of the county to help.
Right.
The stuff they're doing for free.
Yep, that's the way I see it, huh?
I just don't see that as a role of the county.
No, I don't either, but maybe we should listen to them, maybe, I don't know. Is that a role of the county, does? I don't know.
Does social services pick up any of those costs if it's
They might,
Don't know.
and so might.
if it's one of their clients or like you were paying in and off?
It would be Medicaid or Medicare. Do you want to contact them and have them come to a meeting?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
They charge you detail on the compensation.
That's some nice planes.
Anything else for the good of the order?
What? Old courthouse, new courthouse.
Oh, sorry. Old courthouse, new courthouse. Samantha has something on the new courthouse.
State Fire and Tornado had come a few weeks ago to discuss if they will take on the EOC port of the new courthouse or not. I gave her a tour to show her the fire walls and fire doors separating, and she said that the fire door that's in the hallway is not an adequate fire door, so they can't take it on because there is a gap where smoke and flames could get into the EOC from the new courthouse. I have been in touch with her to see if we got new fire doors in that hallway, if they would take it on. My thought process there was the money that we would use towards the fire doors would probably be what we would save by switching to State Fire and Tornado. She just got back to me wondering if she can get in contact with our architect to discuss some of those things, to see whether or not they would cover that if we did switch those doors. Do I say that it's Craft Architects? Do I say that it's you guys?
Well, I think it'd be good, because Craft Architects could tell them. I thought they were 2-hour fire-rated doors, but Sonia Craft could tell her for sure.
Right, and I showed her that, and she
On the
said that
plan?
there's...
Or, I mean, yeah, I thought they were 2-hour doors, and Sonia Craft would be an expert.
Where was the gap on the bottom?
on the bottom and on the sides.
Oh, I think there's a gap where the doors meet.
Yeah, but I mean, more than likely the gap on the bottom is because they haven't put the flooring on there. There's probably a strip that screws on there.
Yeah.
There's probably a strip that screws on the gap in between also.
Yeah, and it just.
It's probably just a matter of installing that. I mean, I don't think you throw the doors away, because the doors were fire rated.
Mhm, and I'm sure Sonia can explain that and
Okay.
help us find those pieces.
It's probably a real minor fix.
Okay, so just tell her to contact.
Contact Sonia.
I think so.
There's one thing I'd like to bring up quickly to put on next meeting's agenda. It's something to do with that waste hole that's being drilled up at Pierce County for radioactive waste disposal. Dale told me today that the water board wants me to discuss it with you guys. I haven't spoken with the water board, so I don't know what's called, but I just need to put it on the agenda for next meeting, I suppose.
The state's attorney in Pierce County evidently is is kind of leading the opposition for that borehole project. They don't want them to even start it because it's in the Cheyenne watershed, or Cheyenne River watershed. That's how Griggs County would become.
Radioactive.
Instead of proactive, you'd be radioactive.
So I'm guessing what they want, I'm guessing they're probably gonna want a resolution from the county in opposition. So I'll draft one and present it to you guys.
I don't know anything about the project.
It's a test project, it's a test, all I know is it's a test project to see if it's doable in North Dakota.
They want to check the geology down to 16,000 feet for the possibility of dropping containers of cesium-39 or whatever they got,
These are from nuclear power plants?
or wherever.
Whoever has to dispose of that waste, yeah.
I thought they were doing that in Nevada now.
Well, they don't want it either, so they're looking for the hole.
Fill the oil wells with them and
The state is in favor of it because it's on state lands and they're gonna pay them a lot of money to lease the state lands that they're gonna drill a hole on, and UND's gonna get a bunch of research money. So I think it's a good idea, but.
Researching the effects of exposure to radiation.
Yeah.
We're not the lab animals here.
That would be us.
Boy, I've never seen that before.
Like to try Wyoming, they have less people.
Well, I think Wyoming is proposed too to place it.
Sure, that's what they're doing in less populated areas.
But I don't know a whole lot of detail about it. I know that Bob called me yesterday, and I'll have to figure out what's going on and present it to you guys and draft a resolution. I'm guessing.
It's kind of hard to get in the goddamn fight blindfolded when you don't know who your enemy is. And I don't think Griggs County has any say whether it happens or not.
Move we adjourn.
Been moved by Sean, then we adjourn. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Ron. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned at 6:22 p.m. Next regular meeting will be Thursday, March 3rd at 1 p.m. And following meeting after that will be Friday, March 18th at 1 p.m.